a device? And what about the women who face online harassment, abuse, and misinformation simply because they have chosen to speak or lead? As we embrace AI and digital transformation, women must be at that table, not just using the technology, but helping to create it, regulate it, and shape policies around it. And as lawyers, we have a grave responsibility to make sure that technology advances rights rather than undermine them. The same is true for our democracy. Women should not simply have a place in the conversation. We should have a seat at the table where decisions are being made. And when we do get that seat, my dear ladies, let us remember that leadership is not just about occupying it. It is about who we bring with us and whose seat we make room for at that table. We need to keep that door open. And we need to see the importance of actually having women sitting at that table. FIDA has done a tremendous job in ensuring that it supports women who are looking for political seats, any sort of leadership seats. And I myself have been the beneficiary of the same. Can I see my MLS ladies, please, in Coast Branch LSK, just by a show of hands? I can guarantee you, I have had direct interactions with at least 90% of the women there, and they help me campaign and they help me get to the seat. And what was described earlier, not just getting to the seat, but holding your hand while you're holding that position. And that's the importance of it. And I think us as women here, including Rama and Kabata, I think what we need to realize is that we don't have to be a big organization to make a difference. You can literally do something on your own as an individual. And it is at this point that I will have to pick on our President Emeritus, Faith Odhiambo. When I became chairperson for MLS in Coast Branch, Faith and I did not know each other at all. But I can guarantee you this girl has held my hand throughout my leadership. She is the reason that I went for my first international conference. She drags me into meetings that I have no business being there. And you can see everyone at the table looking at me like, why is she here? Who is she? But Faith literally says, come, let's go. And I feel like if everyone has a faith in their life, then it would make all the difference. In that same breath, I really do have to recognize Rama and Kabata. There's a reason that they're here, and it's not by chance, ladies. Yes, of course, they hold titles now, former titles then, but I can guarantee you that they have also held my hand. Well, technically no, because I don't shake hands with men, but you get what I mean, right? They have stood by me, and I really have to say that in as much as we need women with us and holding our hands, you also need a Rama and Kabata in your life, for sure. Let us know this, that Kenya does not need the women to wait for permission to lead. We're already leading. Let us lead together, and let us lead with purpose. With that, I'd like to thank you, FIDA, for bringing us together. I'd like to welcome our guests to the Coast region. Karibuni sana Diani, and karibuni sana nyumbani. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Natasha, or is it Tasha or Tash? Thank you very much. She says having rights on paper doesn't necessarily translate to experiencing them in real life. And then she also says we hold each other's hands. We give it up to Faith, Rama. Now here is the short ni Rama and Kabata. So we hold each other's hands. Thank you very much. My task at this time ends, but I'll call upon our chair to take it over from here.
Thank you so much. Let's give my vice chair a warm round of applause. And for moderating the session very well. Ladies and gentlemen, the next session is for a very important lady in our lives as FIDA members. Allow me to just read her bio. This very important lady in the lives of FIDA members is none other than Justice Helen Omondi Amolo Owino. Justice Helen Omondi holds a master's degree in women's laws from the University of Zimbabwe, a Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of Nairobi. People from University of Nairobi, hello! And a diploma in law from the Kenya School of Law. She studied in the University of Minnesota. Remember, her names are Helen, Omondi, Amolo, Owino. She went to the University of Minnesota in 1999 for a certificate in graduate study and professional development. She was admitted to the role of advocate in 1985. Wangapi walikuwa wamezaliwa 1985? Carol Oduor, are you sure? Okay. Her experience in the judiciary spans for 22 years. Justice Omondi joined the judicial service as a district magistrate 2 in 1985, rising to become a chief magistrate, and we all know her, for us who are mid-bar, if I may call myself that, as a chief magistrate in Milimani, a very efficient chief magistrate, I must say, those days when Milimani had a lot of issues. Clearly, she was a leader even at that particular point. She did become a magistrate, a chief magistrate from 2003 to 2007, where she was recruited as judge of the High Court of Kenya. She has continued to serve within the judiciary, and the other hat she wears is that she is the president of the International Association of Women Judges Kenya chapter. Her bio is quite long, so that I don't preempt what she's going to tell us. Allow me to ask all of us to be upstanding as we welcome our chief guest, Lady Justice Helen Omondi, Court of Appeal Judge, President of IAWJ. Karibu sana.
Thank you, and please sit. And so in 2008, I was posted to Malindi. First of all, I thought Malindi was right next to Mombasa. So after 20 minutes, I thought I was lost and stopped to ask, where is Malindi? And 2 weeks after being in Malindi, I met a child as I was taking a walk who greeted me, Shikamo. And I said, Shikamo sana. And you know, this was a little child, and he looked at me like, are you real? I mean, whoever answers that way. So Shikamuni. You see, it has not gotten any better, as you can see. But what a joy it is really to be here amongst all of you. In those days, not like the one that the Bible says in those days of Caesar Augustus, but in those days anyway. I remember when FIDA would have their conference and we were young magistrates, and they'd always have some slots for the magistrates to attend. And that is what really spruced a lot of interest for many of us. It has been a beautiful journey just working with FIDA. And so I will not, you know, if you see, I'd carried this notebook because I kept changing the protocols of who to list first, who should go next. Then in the end I decided, these are my brothers and sisters, and let me just greet them as my brothers and sisters and avoid breaching that very treasured protocol. Because I kept debating with myself, do I start with Jacinta Nyamosi because she's from ODPP, or Rama because, you know, he's East African, and or Faith, who has really been a household name for many of us and done greatly. But it is really a joy to just be in your presence, and each of you who has spoken before me, I have learned so much. I am so glad that I came. But allow me to acknowledge one person who not only inspired many of us who were then in school, where she went to school. We didn't go to the group of schools, but we went to school nonetheless. And she described herself as our housewife, didn't say her name, but I'm sure we all know, all know and recognize our sister, Majiwa Joyce, because somehow you don't ever change. And so it is not lost to me that FIDA-Kenya shares the same mission as International Association of Women Judges Kenya chapter, namely advancing women's rights, promoting access to justice, and championing gender equality. Our association is an association comprising women judges and magistrates working in court stations all over the country. The current membership stands at 300 judges and magistrates, including the he for she male judges and magistrates, and it has been advocating for the rights of marginalized groups in our society, specifically girls and women. And for Rama and Kabata and all the other men that are present, we recognized as an association that if the man's voice is missing, then sometimes the fight becomes an uphill one. We have been to spaces where if we get the men to speak first, the rest of the community actually listens. And we really are happy that you have that support. So as an association, we are an affiliate of the International Association of Women Judges. The headquarters is in Washington, a non-profit, non-governmental organization whose members represent women judges worldwide and who share a commitment to equal justice, gender equity, and the rule of law. Our mission is to promote access to justice for women and children through gender parity, development of jurisprudence, awareness creation, empowerment, and mentorship. The Kenyan chapter's vision statement is to be the custodian for human rights and gender justice, which is guided by our mission statement on promoting access to justice for women and children, anchored to the ideals I have just alluded to. We live in fast evolving times where technology is no longer an option and is certainly taking its position as a lifestyle in daily and official interactions. When we speak about gender justice and digital innovation, we are really speaking about transformation. Transformation in who participates, who holds influence, who creates value, and who has meaningful access to justice. The legal profession has never been static. It ventilates and hyperventilates. It has a heartbeat whose rate changes swiftly. In general, history is replete with structural barriers that women have faced in various spaces. Every generation of women lawyers has inherited certain barriers, challenged them, and boldly expanded the space for those who follow. Today, we stand at another defining moment. The digital revolution is changing not only how law is practiced, but also who gets to participate and succeed in the legal economy. The question before us is not whether technology will change the profession, because it already has. The real question is whether that transformation will be inclusive, equitable, and empowering for women. So where have we come from? Not long ago, the legal profession was largely inaccessible to women. Their numbers in law schools, law firms, corporate leadership, and judicial office were limited. As a matter of fact, where the Supreme Court now sits was then the citadel of leadership, and that it housed the High Court and the Court of Appeal. But I'm sure many of you in this room do not know that it didn't have toilets for women. And I only got to learn this. I was always a mashinani magistrate, but I once went to see one of my colleagues at the court, Florence Jaoko Simbiri, and I needed to use the washroom. And she gave me a key. Then when I opened, I found a man standing at the urinals, and I thought I was in the wrong place. And he said, "Oh no, come in, come in." Of course I didn't come in. I went back and I told Jaoko, "Florence, I think you gave me the wrong key." Then she said, "No, that's the key for the washroom." So I told her, I found so-and-so at the... So she just laughed and said, "That's normal. There's a toilet for the women use when the men are using the urinals." The long and short of it, of course, is that most of the women preferred to walk across to Hilton Hotel and pretend that you have gone to have tea or looking to meet someone, so that, because Hilton was also Hilton, you just didn't walk there. So you had to sound a bit important so that, while you are waiting, you can ask, and so where are the washrooms, But so we have come a long way. Right. So progress was often measured simply by representation, having more women at the table. At the same time, access to justice itself was largely physical. Justice depended on one's ability to travel to a courthouse, file paper documents, attend hearings in person, and navigate processes that were often costly, slow, and intimidating. These barriers affected everyone, but they disproportionately affected women who frequently needed to balance professional aspirations with caregiving responsibilities and also faced social and economic inequalities. The journey towards gender justice has therefore been more than just increasing numbers. It has been about dismantling structural barriers, ensuring equal opportunity, and recognizing that diversity strengthens institutions and enriches the development of law. So where are we today? Today we are witnessing an unprecedented convergence of law, technology, and democracy. Digital innovation has transformed legal practice. Electronic filing, virtual hearings, digital legal research, online dispute resolution, cloud-based practice management, artificial intelligence, and data analytics are no longer future possibilities. They are part of today's legal landscape. For women lawyers, these innovations have opened new pathways. Technology has made it possible to build successful practices beyond traditional office spaces, collaborate across jurisdictions, appear before courts remotely, and balance professional responsibilities with family commitments more effectively than ever before. Digital platforms have also expanded access to legal services. A lawyer in Nairobi, for instance, can advise a client in Turkana or Mombasa or Mandera without either party traveling distances, hundreds of kilometers. Legal knowledge has become more accessible, and entrepreneurship within the legal profession has become increasingly digital. Yet we must acknowledge that technology is not inherently neutral. The same digital platforms that create opportunity can also reproduce inequality. Women continue to experience unequal access to digital infrastructure. Online harassment, indeed Rama spoke to that. Cyber-enabled gender-based violence, algorithmic bias, and exclusion from emerging technology sectors. Discrimination is saliently laundered through digital technology, happily sharing the human frailties and missed steps women in leadership make as entertaining TikTok moments. Yet in reality, it is intended to ridicule and embarrass, and of course diminish the woman's confidence and credibility in the public eye. Throughout the African continent, increasingly hostile political, legal, and social environments continue to undermine the safety and operational security of a very vulnerable section of the population. As legal professionals, we must therefore ask not only how technology improves efficiency, but also whether it advances fairness, inclusion, and equal opportunity. Very often, injustice will be perpetuated and made to appear authentic. And looking at the democratic participation in the digital age, digital technology is also reshaping democracy itself. Citizens increasingly engage with public institutions through digital platforms. They obtain legal information online, participate in public discourse through social media, and expect public services to be available electronically. For women, digital participation has created unprecedented opportunities to amplify our voices, influence public policy, organize communities, and advocate for reform. Yet, digital participation also carries risks. Risk of misinformation, risk of online abuse, risk of hate speech, and risk of cyber harassment, disproportionately silencing women's voices in public spaces. A woman who has been vilified and shamed in the digital space will more likely crawl back into her shell and keep her voice to herself for the rest of her life. Protecting democratic participation therefore requires creating digital spaces that are safe, inclusive, and respectful of fundamental rights. We have seen a rise in questionable authoritarian surveillance practices, digital data harvest, information sharing, and cybersecurity threats. The reality of deploying spyware, online monitoring, and data collection systems by governmental entities, specifically targeting perceived dissenting voices and human rights defenders, cannot be ignored. Concerns and allegations have also been expressed concerning what has in many instances been perceived as sponsored online harassment, coordinated disinformation campaigns, and digital infrastructure shutdowns preying on the vulnerability of women who by their circumstances in life are very relational. One thing happens to me, it affects how I relate with my children, with my husband, with my in-laws, with my friends. Women are relational. That is how they are define their space. So in this context, digital rights, including the right to privacy, freedom of expression, and secure digital communication, are increasingly imperiled. Lawyers therefore have an important role in shaping these safeguards. So where are we going to? The future of the legal profession will be defined not simply by digital transformation, but by intelligent transformation. Artificial intelligence will increasingly support legal research, document drafting, case management, transcription, contract analysis, and predictive analysis. Routine tasks will become automated, allowing lawyers to focus on higher value work such as strategy, advocacy, negotiation, and problem solving. The lawyers who will thrive will not be those competing with technology, but those who understand how to use technology ethically, responsibly, and creatively. For women lawyers, this presents an extraordinary opportunity. The barriers of geography, traditional office structures, conventional business models are rapidly fading away. New opportunities are emerging in legal technology, digital compliance, data governance, AI regulation, cybersecurity, online dispute resolution, digital rights, and cross-border legal services. The sustainable legal economy of the future will reward adaptability, innovation, and lifelong learning. Yet we have our collective responsibility. As we embrace digital innovation, we must ensure that no woman is left behind. The role played by women in the administration of justice in our day is evidence of a monumental shift from the hitherto social, cultural, general stereotype conceptions and perceptions of the role of women in our traditional society. Today, women pride in their rightful place as jurists, scholars, judges, and modern-day dispute resolvers in the broad spectrum of alternative dispute resolution. This means investing in digital literacy, promoting inclusive innovation, strengthening cybersecurity and data protection, addressing the algorithmic bias, and ensuring that women are represented not only as users of technology, but also as its designers, regulators, and leaders. Technology must therefore expand opportunity, not reinforce inequality. The story of women in law has always been one of resilience and transformation. From fighting for a place in the profession, to leading institutions, shaping jurisprudence, and now influencing the digital future of justice, women lawyers continue to redefine what leadership looks like. So as we look ahead, our goal should not simply be to digitize legal practice. It should be to build a legal ecosystem that is inclusive, innovative, and sustainable. One where technology advances justice, Democracy strengthens equality, and every woman lawyer has the opportunity not merely to participate, but to lead. The future is not something that happens to us. It is something we have the privilege and responsibility of shaping. Indeed, the Vice Chair, Tess, spoke to that and is a living example. Sisters, learned friends, sisters, sympathizers, and supporters. Let us not perpetuate the invisible bias. Let us use technology to adjust each other's crown, even through the commonplace, simple technology like webinars. I challenge each one of us present to use the digital space, not as joint tortfeasors in the TikTok space in toppling your sister's crooked crown, but as the jewel that mentors, sharpens, and equips. Just as the good book says, iron sharpens iron. And to Rama, I'm sure in your dream of being a thespian, you came across Macbeth's piece, that life is a stage. But I will paraphrase it and say life is a stage where we are all actors, but the lead actor is definitely Ramadan. Thank you all so much for your attention. Shukran. God bless.
We give her an Obama clap until she sits down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before I hand over to our board secretary, allow me to make a special recognition of various members who are in this room today. Allow me to start by appreciating our Chair Emeritus, Madam Joyce Majiwa, by a show, just by waving to the crowd. Thank you. And also currently the Chairperson of FIDA Trustees. Our former Vice Chair, Carol Oduor, please wave to the crowd. Our former Board Secretary, Madam Faith Odhiambo. Maria Goretti, our former board member, probably she hasn't come in, but let's acknowledge her in her absence. Former board member, Afrophilia Agasna. Is she here? I think she's a speaker in the next session. And allow me to make a special recognition of Mercy Okiro. Why? Mercy Okiro, before you clap for her. Before you clap for Mercy Okiro, Mercy is the youngest chair serving in our government parastatal board. She's a chairperson. She's the chairperson of the National Construction Authority Board, the youngest in any government board. Let's clap for her. Indeed, our theme reflects with some of the young leaders we have here. So thank you. Allow me to go back and give the session moderator back to Angela Madumbo, and you can also clap for me as I sit down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have seen that we have set the stage for what we are going to discuss today, right? So for now, we are done with the morning session. We are going to break for tea. But before, tea is being served outside there. Before we break for tea, we will take a group photo. The group photo will also be taken right out there. So this is the time to touch up your lip gloss, nini, so that we can all look nice. Please let us gather there for the group photo. Because you know, if you are not in the photo, you did not come. And if there is no photo, it did not happen. Yes, then we shall reconvene here after tea. Please, we are an hour, 20 minutes behind schedule. So if you could take your tea and then you come back so that we